Hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the show. John Henry Soto here, as always, with you. It is March 18th, 2026, 7 a.m. here in Nashville, Tennessee. This is a live morning space for artists, filmmakers, musicians, and creators who are navigating the real world of making art. On this show, we talk about positivity, but not that fluffy kind. We talk about what actually stops artists from moving forward, the struggles we all face, and how to move through them with clarity and purpose. We'll also highlight good things happening in the industry, share ideas, suggestions, and practical advice, and most importantly, have honest conversations. This is a live show. So if you're here, feel free to ask questions or join in. This is a place to reset, get grounded, and start the day moving forward as an artist. And welcome in, everybody. Hope you're all doing well out there. It is Wednesday here. It's still a little chilly this morning here in Nashville, Tennessee. We had a cold spell hit us last couple of days. But this weekend is going to be in the 80s and sunny, mid 80s and sunny. So we're really looking forward to the weekend. But we're also looking forward to today and every day. And that's the way it should be, right? Well, today we're going to be talking a little bit about that. It's not only enjoying the day, but also celebrating the day with others and celebrating others. How about that? It's yesterday we kind of covered environment. We talked about, you know, building a safe environment for you to create in. uh, who's in your environment, auditing your friends, auditing your artistic people that are around you, right? And seeing who are the ones that are in your environment that can nurture that. Well, today we're going to flip the script a little bit. We're going to talk about celebrating others. And now sometimes we feel, we artists are hard enough on themselves to celebrate themselves, right? I mean, we look at things and we're like, oh god, what was that all about? It's just the way it is, right? But there's something very revealing about the moment you share good news with someone, right? Because you immediately, once you do that, you can get back immediate feedback on what it is, the intention. Maybe it's something you worked hard for, a personal milestone, or even a small win that meant a lot to you. You're not looking for you're not looking for applause, you're not looking for validation, just a simple acknowledgement, like a quick, hey, that's great. Hey, I'm happy for you, can go a long way. Just those little comments. But sometimes you'll tell someone, yeah, I booked an acting job. I booked an acting job for this weekend or whatever, and so I'm not available for that. And they'll write back, oh, okay, or I see, I get it. Okay, no problem. And you're like, yeah, I booked something. I think that's a paid gig, pays well. It just happened recently, and it's no acknowledgement, not even a brought up, not even, hey, congratulations on booking your thing. That's pretty awesome. Of course, you have your friends, and they always are very supportive. People that you like in your environment. And we talked a little bit about this yesterday, right? Because I think it's an important way of looking at it. When you're talking, especially if you're an artist, if you're a filmmaker. I have a gentleman right here, Aru. Hello, welcome. He says, Mr. John, hope you're doing well. I'm a Bollywood film director in Mumbai, India. Wow, welcome in, welcome in. That's amazing. I love that. I love Bollywood films. I have a whole box set of Shura Khan films that I've seen. Very, very entertaining. Very, very colorful. I love it. Love those films. So thank you. Welcome in. Appreciate you being here. Um, we're talking about extending and celebrating others. Celebrating others and how we reverse that. Because I thought to myself, well, I don't have to always be celebrated. I don't need the validation all the time. I mean, as an artist, it does help when people do say nice things. But sometimes it doesn't really, you shouldn't need it. You shouldn't need validation. You shouldn't, just like you don't pay attention to the haters. You just acknowledge the haters. You're like, all right, that's weird. All right, see you later. Bye. Adios. But yet, when you have someone that's very close to you, and you don't get the validation, you shouldn't need it either, but you do. But it is a telling thing. It is a telling thing. And yet sometimes you say something and you tell someone what your successes are, and the response is surprisingly minimal. A one word reply, a quick subject change, or the conversation immediately shifts back to what the other person needs. You ever get that? They need you to do something, but you're like, oh, I can't. I just booked a job over here and I'm really excited about it. Oh, okay. Well, can you come on next day then? Well, when can you come then? When can you do it? I'm like, well, let me see because I just booked this thing and I don't know how many days this job is going to go. Okay, well, do you think you can come on the way? Hey, congratulations on the job. That's awesome. Well, what day you think you can come? That would be a little bit more of the proper way of communication. But people are really poor at communicating. You know how you can tell someone's communication is really crappy? How many people that they're always upsetting? You ever have that person that's like always, oh yeah, I pissed off this person, or I said something to this person, or this person is the communication with this person is broken. They don't want to actually talk to me anymore, and you constantly running into that, and you see someone who's constantly having that situation with people. You have to say to yourself, it's you. It's not them. It is you. I can see it. I can feel it. you know these moments, though, when you get that type of communication from them, can be very telling. It can be very, very telling. They remind us that not everyone has learned the value of celebrating others. And some people are so focused on their own struggles or ambitions that they forget how powerful simple recognition can be. And this is so true. How powerful is it? Is it? Last night I went out to about, I think we went to like, I think it was 6 or 7 different venues where we were looking at different open mics and different right writers rounds and things like that. So we were looking at different places. We went to about 5 venues here in Nashville. Some great artists out there, really, really great artists. And every single time I saw a great artist, I would take a photograph and I would find them online, and I would, uh, acknowledge them, share their photo, say, hey, they sound great. They're playing at this place right here, share their contact information. I do this all the time. I just love when I hear somebody really, really excellent performing, that I feel there's a certain aura about them, a certain energy about them. It's just a very, very wonderful, wonderful experience to have. And they're giving you their all, and you can feel that they're really committed to their craft. I want to validate that. I want to acknowledge it. And the only way I really know to do that at the moment when I'm there is I take a photo, I put it on Instagram, I find them from their contact information that's on the stage or wherever it is. And then I find them, I tag them in it, and I say, hey, it's a great artist right here. Check them out. And I share their content out there. That's how I do it. If I have another opportunity, I can go up to them at the end of the show and I can talk to them if I'm there longer. This time we were kind of like hitting a lot of different places just to kind of see. Last night was it was St. Patrick's Day yesterday, so it was a little difficult. A lot of the writers rounds were more celebrating St. Patrick's Day, so there was a different vibe and different things going on. But yeah, it was just an amazing, amazing thing. And I have somebody making a comment here. It's a LinkedIn user. I don't have a name for you. I apologize. Sometimes LinkedIn doesn't share your name with me. I don't know why. And they say there's a difference between wanting validation versus wanting constructive criticism. We are all humans, though so a little validation does go a long way, but it rarely comes from where you expect it. That is true, 100%. And Aru says we have to bring the subject of our Bollywood industry to international markets. Would you like to give some suggestion for it? Wow, I would definitely do that. Right now on this show, I think one of the things that you can do, we're talking today about celebrating artists and celebrating others. Well, now Aru is on here and he's asking a question. Oh, it's Sandro. Hello, Sandro. Welcome in. He's from LinkedIn. Welcome in. Appreciate you. So Aru is saying, is asking a question. Now, this episode is a perfect example of celebrating others, right? Well, here I am with the opportunity to celebrate Aru, right? Now, I just met Aru right now. He just commented, he just came into our channel here. So I'm definitely going to think about that and I will respond to him. And I might respond right now. Let me think. So, Bollywood industry international market. Well, here's the thing about international market. It's really not so difficult today because we have the internet. We have so many different platforms where you can submit films to. You can submit different treatments. If you have a treatment, there's different organizations that actually help you uh, fund your projects as well. If you submit it and it wins. So my advice would be to find organizations in America where you can submit either a screenplay or an actual film or a short or a synopsis or a sizzle reel, whatever it is that you have already to market the film, and start submitting to these places. Another thing is start making connections with people here in the industry. Pick a town, whether it's LA, New York, Atlanta. There's a lot of places now that are having great film studios. Nashville is building stuff here. New Jersey is another place. I would go to these studios. I would find out the organizations that are surrounding in those areas, and I would start joining groups, joining chats, having conversations. Exactly what you just did right here, Aru, where you just came onto LinkedIn and you came onto my show here, and you're actually asking a live question. That's exactly what you want to be doing when you're a filmmaker in Bollywood and you're trying to bring your content here. I have a friend of mine who's Indian and he's an actor. We've been in films together. He may know a lot of people. I might put you in connection with him. He's a filmmaker. He's out of New York City, Brooklyn to be exact. He's done a lot of work. He's very successful entrepreneur there as well as a restaurant. Um, and I worked with him a long time ago. I think the film was in maybe about 10, maybe over 10 years ago that we were in a film together that went to the Cannes Film Festival, and it was a fantastic thing. So maybe that's a connection you can have. Um, he says we are going to do something like a fashion 20 country culture show by targeting the country. I will connect you for this in your inbox. Wow, that is fantastic. I love that. I love that, Aru. Thank you so much for tuning in. So celebrating Aru right now is my purpose right this now for this show, and it came in at a perfect time because this is what it's about. When your acknowledgement is in the form of help. I haven't seen Aru's work yet, but he is requesting help. He's looking for it, and he's very sincere in his request. I'm going to give him my full attention. It's an important thing for me. So he's going to send me some information on my inbox. I'm going to get that information. I'm going to research it, and I'm going to respond back as best as I can to really help and celebrate his art and his Bollywood films, right? So it's an important thing, because the thing about it is that you know the people have not really learned. Not everyone has learned the value of celebrating others, especially in the arts. I think there's a little bit of a jealousy in the arts. When you see somebody who's really talented and you can just see it. It just oozes out of them, and you're thinking, I have to work so hard just to get to that point. Well, okay, keep working hard. That's what it's all about. Not the greatest people actually sometimes are the most successful, right? I've heard a lot of artists talk about this. They say, it doesn't come natural to me. I have to work my butt off to be this good. Some people are just like, boom, I'm just super funny. I'm a talented, and it just comes naturally. Some people have to work hard at it. And it reminds us that not everyone has learned the value of celebrating others. And some people are so focused on their own struggles and ambitions that they forget how powerful simple recognition can be. In both life and business, acknowledgement is a form of leadership. Great leaders, strong teams, and meaningful relationships are built on the ability to recognize progress, not just their own, but the progress of others. Celebrating someone's effort doesn't cost anything, but it builds trust, morale, and stronger human connections. And this is like for my last film, I did what Aru is talking about. You're welcome, Aru. He says, "Thank you, Mr. John. I appreciate you being on here. Thank you so much." My last film, and on that day, I just started. I was in New Jersey. I was living there. I was shooting it before the pandemic. I had to edit it myself because then the pandemic hit, and I had this film in the can, and I'm like, "What am I doing?" I'm not an editor, so I went online. I took courses. I taught myself how to edit, and then I started finding places to put the film. Right, I've done this. This is my 10th film at that point. So I just decided, okay, what I'm gonna do is we're gonna move. We're gonna leave where we were. I'm originally from New York. I was living in New Jersey with my family, and I decided to move to Nashville. I have some friends here, and the film community. While I was in New Jersey, I was researching Nashville, and I found a couple of film connections. Found a couple of film organizations to join. I joined. I submitted. I started submitting my film to festivals here in Nashville, and I got into the Tennessee, the TIFF um, um, festival, which is the Tennessee International Independent Film Festival, a really big one here in Nashville. And my film got into that, and I got to play the legend. I got to play in the legendary Franklin Theater here in Tennessee, and it was a great experience. But there comes a time when you know, I was putting my film out there and people were liking it and celebrating it and putting me in festivals. And I did a lot of festivals, the Manhattan Film Festival. I went to Phoenix, um, New York, a couple of festivals in New York, uh, and here in Nashville, and it was just wonderful. And across a couple of others across the country, it was a great experience, and I got a lot of validation, and it was a wonderful thing, and I got to meet people, But one of the things that I remember thinking was like, I can't really just rely on people liking it. I have to put it in front of people. I like it. I like it. I think I did a good job with that film. Now it's my responsibility to put it in the hands of others and have their information. Um, And Aru says, by the way, Mr. John, your look is a professional actor. Thank you. Appreciate that. Well, I am a professional actor as well. And I have a gig tomorrow, as a matter of fact. I don't know where it is. I'm waiting for the call sheet to come in, but thank you. I appreciate that. So uh, that's a validation. He just gave me a validation, right? He's celebrating me. I'm celebrating him. It's a this energy feels much better than just not saying anything, because when people don't say something, it's their insecurities. It's something that they're kind of like struggling with, right? And we have to recognize that too, because we want to bring them up. We want to help people that can't celebrate others, help them by celebrating them. Why not? Let's flip the script here, right? The real lesson is never allow someone's lack of acknowledgement to make you question your progress. Your hard work still counts. Your growth is still real. Your wins, big or small, still matter. And maybe the bigger challenge for all of us is this: be the person who celebrates others. What I was just saying, right? Be the person who acknowledges effort. Be the person who understands that success is not a limited resource, because the right people won't just hear your wins, they'll celebrate them with you. How about that? When you really, really give people the respect and you celebrate them, they will be there with you to celebrate your successes. You're there for them, they're there for you. What a wonderful community that would be, right? And, you know, I'm in this industry, I'm a musician. That's where my first career was in the world of music. But when I came into film, about 17 years now, I think it is almost. Um, my thing was that, I'm older, I'm getting into something that's considered a young person's game was what I thought. And it turned out to be no. There was a lot of people out there that was celebrating my little successes and were helping me find my way. And I got a great manager. I got a great agent and stuff. And it was just a great experience because there were others there that not only was I celebrating them, but they were celebrating me. And together we were doing things, really powerful things. And that's how you actually create a great team. Like here in Nashville, Tennessee, I'm trying to put together a really great team of filmmakers, actors, people in film, sound, editors. Just put them together, introduce them, and see where we can build and help each other to build something special, right? And when you do meet those people, you want to gravitate them, you want to hold on to them, you want to validate them, you want to help them because you see that there's in their eyes, there's this amazing uh, light. There's a wonderful world in their eyes of wanting to create something special. And you want to be part of that and you want to help them get there. It's a wonderful thing, and I love it so much. And I love all of you here for being here. I appreciate you all. Want to thank you. Um, I have a busy couple of days coming up. I'm hoping I can do a show tomorrow morning. My show is Monday through Fridays at 7 o'clock in the morning here in Central Tennessee, Middle Tennessee, as we call it here. And but my call sheet hasn't come in yet for a job I'm doing tomorrow as an actor, and it may be one of those early morning calls where I have to be there by 6 a.m. So I won't be able to do the show. Um, but as soon as I know, I will actually set up the show and I will be here tomorrow morning. I definitely will be here on Friday because this is a 1 day shoot. Unless they give me a couple of days, I don't know. I think it's a 1 day shoot. I'm hoping it's a 1 day shoot because I have things on Friday, but I will always move things around anyway. But all right, friends, want to thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you everybody who commented here. I appreciate you all. And yeah, Sandro says, and a giver. That's right, right. You can't always be a taker, right? You got to be a giver. It's very important. So I want to thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate you all. I will see you all hopefully tomorrow, if not definitely on Friday. God bless you. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. We're all we have here. And I'll see you then. I'll see you soon. Take care. God bless. And as always, peace.